Lo ta'aneh b're'echa et shakeh. Do not be a false witness against your neighbor. This is the 9th of the 10 Commandments. And it literally means don't go into a law court. When you're called to be a witness, don't give false testimony. Obviously a very important mitzvah, but what is it as a diber, as one of the 10 Commandments, what's it telling us? So I think there really are 3 things involved over here very, very clearly. One is the power of speech. That when someone gives testimony in court, so the consequence of their speech is almost immediately felt. And that's to teach us that, we might not be in court, but our words are impactful. There's a power to speech. Also included in this is truth, right? Or do not be a false witness. So be a true witness, be committed to the truth. And in a sense, you could say even justice is part of this, is a justice system that should be upheld. What's the guideline? How do we use this on a day-to-day, minute-to-minute level as a guideline for life? It's, as my mother has probably told me 1,000 times, if you have nothing good to say, do not say anything at all. And I think the corollary is also true, that if you have something good to say
it.
You should say it, right? Or if you want to be conservative about it, right? When you speak, if you have anything to say, make sure that it's good. Make sure that what you're saying is going to have positive consequence. That's the core value. That's the core value over here. So as a Jew, right, one of the 10 most important things to know is that words, our words have tremendous power. That's it's a core principle of Judaism. And because of that, excuse me, because of that, we should use them wisely, use them for positive consequence. Where is this inside of us? What is this as a Mida, as a character trait? What is this? Where is it? Where is it in? What character trait is this? What are we? Where do we find this pasha sugya? This value expressed within ourselves, and it's not an easy one. It's very general words. We speak a lot. It's very much we speak about a lot of things. What specific character trait could we hone on in to say, if you live with it, you have to develop this character trait, develop something within in order to become a better speaker, someone more aligned with this diber. Because after all the 10 Commandments, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to align ourselves. That's the beauty. That's the gift of the 10 Commandments, is that the HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, try align yourselves with these 10 principles, with these mitzvot, with the underlying principles and core values. So we need to develop ourselves as people aligned with them. So the first time really speech comes up is in the story of Bereshit, the story of Genesis, and God says, let's make man in our image, and God creates him, and he blows into him a nishmas Chaim, and it says over there that man became a nefesh chaya, lenefesh chaya. He became a living being. And Rashi is very bothered because, the animals are also called living beings. Right? They're also a chaya. In fact, a chaya, wilde chaya is a wild animal. A chaya is the word for a undomesticated animal. So, says Rashi, the fact that man became alive and is called the Nefesh Chaya, or the animals also called Nefesh Chaya. What's unique about that? So Rashi says these amazing words. Rashi says, Chaya Shabukula. The man is more alive. He has more life to him. In which sense? That he has nit oisef boy day of a dibur. Man was given everything that the animals were given, plus something called dea, consciousness, and dibur, speech. And because we have those abilities, or those abilities are an expression of the fact that our life is the most alive. We are the most alive. We have the most capacity for life. We have the most power for life. You know, just like we understand a vegetable, something growing, is somewhat alive, right? It's attached to the ground, it's growing. An animal has more life than a vegetable because it's got more abilities, right? There's more to it. It can move around freely. It's got a brain. It's got different. Its life is fuller. So Rashi is telling us that through Deya V'Dibur, through consciousness and speech, we are really the most alive. And it's not just that these are extra aspects to who we are, but they really are our unique aspects. Meaning, speech being unique to humans means that if you want to find a human, you got to listen to him speak. That's what's unique about us. So, you know, an animal, you wouldn't look at how an animal grows. You'd look at how an animal runs, how an animal can fly, or how, you know, what's extra, what's unique about that. So what's unique about human beings is the fact that we can speak, right? That we've got this consciousness, we're able to speak. And this is what the Torah calls our Tselem Elokim, right? That's what the verse clearly is saying. That God said, let us make man in our image. And God blew it, you know, took man and he blew into him this nefesh chai, this soul, this extra element, levels of life, and man became a nefesh chai. That's where we are similar to God, consciousness and speech. And according to that, it comes out very interesting that, you know, God spoke and created the world. Yom Hashem, have you ever thought about that? Why does the Torah saying, God said, let there be light, and there was light? And God said, let there be... Why did God have to say anything? Why didn't the Torah just tell us? And God made light, and God made the trees. Why is it? And God said, because there's a message there to us that speech is God created the world through speech. We know that, you know, the Talmud says that this world was created with a hey, with one letter, the letter hey. And the next world with letter yud. All the details of this world are found in the Torah. Right? It's a well-known Zohar. HaKadosh Baruch Hu looked into the Torah and created the entire world. So speech has a creative capacity. Right? Speech is, and the truth is, when you think about it that way, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world with speech, that means through speech we can access the divine plan of creation. Right? In fact, that's what it seems to be that the Zohar is saying, that God looked into the Torah and created the world, meaning this is the blueprint of reality. This is the blueprint. The words of the Torah are the blueprint of all creation. It's an amazing statement, right? Amazing thing to just to think about. In a, you know, so that what does that mean? That through our Deya V'Dibur, through our consciousness and our speech, which of course includes our intelligence, means that we are able to grasp and express reality. We're able to grasp, to understand, to become aware, to be conscious, and to express reality. The design of creation. And in a psychological way, we understand this very well. Right? Psychologically, we live in the world created by words. right? Be it our inner dialogue, what we keep on telling ourselves, right? What are the messages we keep on telling ourselves? And the words other people have spoken to us, right? What the impact that other people, because what do words do? They describe. So we describe our reality through our own words, through our inner dialogue. I was teaching a class to some high school students, and I showed them this video about the 3 most important words you'll ever need to know. And the guy on the video was a TED talk. He wanted to say, "Tell me more. Tell me more." When you're listening to someone, and you say, tell me more, means so much. It means I'm listening to you. It means I'm empathetic. I want to know more. It means I trust there is more. I'm helping you to be able to express more. So I asked my students, what do you think the 3 most important, the most encouraging words you could possibly say to someone are? And they said, it blew me away. They said, "You got this." Right? When someone's about to do something, and you look at them and you say to them, "You know what? You got this. You can do this. You can do this well. You've got the capacity to do that." When you hear those words, when you tell yourself, "I got this," that inner dialogue changes your reality, because you move from a place of fear and doubt into a place of confidence and simcha and joy in expressing in doing what you need to do. So, that's on a psychological level. I think there's a deeper level, and that is that in order to get into that, and I think that's where we really are going to hit what's called the Mida. We're going to hit the character trait over here. There are 2 verses, one from King Solomon and one from King David. And let's do King David first, because he was his father. He was the father. And so David HaMelech says in Psalms, in Tehillim, "Mi ha'ish hachofetz Chaim." Who is the person that really wants to live? Who's the person that desires life? The one who guards his tongue from bad, from evil, and his lips from speaking mirma, is deceit, deception. So the Mida over here, really, and I think it's circular. It's definitely circular, but the Mida, the character trait, that which where do we find inside of us? Do not be a false witness in everything that it contains. In our desire for life. If we really want to live, in reality, and that means in the reality of this world and the next world, in the reality of God, in the reality, right? If we want to live in the world of potential, right? If we want to recognize all potential, right? To live fully, to be fully aware of life, to be fully engaged in life, be fully able to live life, that's the Mida, right? It's called Chofetz Chaim in Hebrew, desiring life, right? I don't know, in one word what to call it really. I thought maybe optimism, I'm not sure. I think it's more about reality than optimism, right? Sometimes if you want to desire life, you need to shed that which is a lie, right? Sometimes you need to speak very harshly. Sometimes our world has evil in it, and we need to sumir, we need to run away, we need to rid ourselves of evil. That might be very harsh. That might be standing up to people. That might be saying very harsh words. But that's part of life. That's part of the true life, because we're trying to live Chofetz Chaim. I want true life. I want the good life. I want a life of truth. I want a life of kindness. I want a life connected to the Dibur of Hashem, to the words of God. So, and think about it this way. When we speak, what are we doing? We are expressing thoughts. We're expressing feelings. That's what the power of speech is. I bring it out into a reality that's now perceived by others, that's more objective. So that's what speech is doing. Speech is, if you Chofetz Chaim, if you really want life, you will express it, you will bring it out, right? You want to, it's this inner desire to live, right? We all have it. We all have an inner desire to live, for sure. But where do we express it, right? Is it only in a very superficial, mundane, this worldly type of life? Or is it in a life which is everything we've spoken about, elevated, joyous, truth? Is it a life where we recognize the value of life, where we recognize the potential of life, where we try to bring out all potential, right? Someone who lives, we've all experienced it. We all know people that, we call them, wow, they're so alive, they're so able to express, they're so able to, they're so engaged with life. That's what this Diber, it's an amazing thing, really. I'm blown away by this thought. That's in our speech. It's circular. It's circular, and that's what Shlomo Melech said. That's what it says in Mishle, in Proverbs. It says Mavis v'chaim b'yad haloshon, that death and life are in the hand of the tongue. Death and life are in the hand of the tongue. And the Gemara goes through what it means, and eventually Rava says, the boy Misa belishne, the boy Chaim belishne. If you want life, it's in your tongue. If you want death, it's also in your tongue. Right? Death and life are in the hand of the tongue. And that means, says Rashi, if you want death, so speak rubbish, right? Speak futility, shtus v'navala. Speak about things which are temporal and ridiculous and stupid, and right, and navala are disgusting, right? Nivel peh means you debase what you speak about, right? How gross is our world at the moment with shtus or navala, right? What are people speaking about? What are people, right? And the boy Chaim says Rashi Yasuk b'Torah. Speak, be engaged in the words of Torah. That's I think anyone that's learned Torah knows that as soon as you start to learn Torah, you go into an elevated world. You enter into a better, higher, truer, energized world, a world of positive energy, because that's what the Torah is. It's the truth. The Torah is that's what the Kodesh Baruch Hu gave us. That's the Tselem Elokim. That's the image of God that we can access, is being able to be godly, to see this world in its plan, the divine plan, to grasp the divine plan of this world means God gave us it. Yeah, I'll give you the Torah. This is what I used. This is the way I created the world. This is the narrative of the world. If you want to know the narrative of reality, it's the Torah. So the Mida, really deep down, the Mida, the character trait, where we find this in ourselves is, do we want life? Do we really want to live a full, engaged, beautiful life? That's what this is. It's here. Life is here, right? We're given, human life is expressed in the tongue, is expressed. That's what the Maharal of Prague says. It's the uniqueness of humanity speech. Seichel, he says, is a little ethereal, a little beyond us. But to be able to express it and bring it into this world, that's life, Chaim. That's human life. So someone who cares about life, who wants to live life, for sure would guard that. That's Netzol L'Shein Chamara. Guard that life. That's where you live. And, this means speaking in a way that is elevated, speaking in the words of Torah. We have the words of Torah. Look at my bookshelf. It's not actually it's my virtual bookshelf, right? How many words, right? All these. How many words of Torah do we have? Thank God, it's big. It's big. You could spend lifetimes upon lifetimes upon lifetimes studying the Torah, right? How could anyone say, I'm bored? How could anyone say, what should we speak about? How could anyone say, we don't have time. Bittul Torah means that you're wasting the precious time you have to get closer to reality, to Chaim, to life. That's the source. Eitz Chaim here. It's a tree of life, the words of the Torah. It means, Chofetz Chaim means the way we relate to ourselves and our inner dialogue, right? Our inner narrative. What are we telling ourselves? Do we wake up in the morning and go, oh gosh, another day, gosh? Or do we say, come on, Nitzan, today is another day for life. Let's grasp life to its fullest. Let's use it you've got this, you can do it. You can be Mekadesh Shem Shemaim, you can learn Torah, you can elevate yourself, you can make a good impact in the world. Right? What is that? And what do we speak to other people? How do we describe them? How do we describe them to ourselves and to others? So, especially with kids, the importance of speaking to kids in a way that we recognize their true potential, and we describe that to them. We bring that out. We're able to really. I don't think that I'm not very good at it. Maybe I haven't tried enough. But how beneficial it is when you have someone else in your life who gets you, who can describe you to yourself in a positive and good way, and tell you, I see you're very good at this. You're very, maybe that's a challenge for you. Maybe that's so important and such a parental role. It's a role of friends, right? It's a role of a rabbi is to do that, right? It says in Pirkei Avos. Let me just get it quickly. That Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai had 5 students, and who were there? Rabbi Eliezer ben Hokenes, Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, Rabbi Yossi HaKohen, Rabbi Shimon ben Nassan, Rabbi Elazar ben Arak. He would recount their praises. He would speak their praises. Rabbi Eliezer ben Hokenes is a pit covered in plaster that does not lose a drop. Rabbi Yeshua ben Hanania, happy as the one who gave birth to him. Rabbi Yossi the priest is pious. Rabbi Shimon ben Nassan fears sin. Rabbi Elazar ben Arak is the everlasting fountain. The impression, the reality that those students lived with about themselves and the focus they took in their own life was from the words of their rabbi. Their rabbi helped them. Their rabbi, right? We can do that with friends. Once a beautiful explanation about, Rabbi Akiva's students died because they didn't honor each other. And I think Rav Hutner says that the true honor is uniqueness. True honor is where someone is unique. And the friends of Rabbi Akiva, there were so many students, they forgot, they didn't focus on pointing out to each other their individuality. Where are they special? Every single human being on this earth is special, has special and unique talents and abilities, has a mission that no one else can, perform. So welcome to the shir, little Moshe.
This is Mary Yosef. He just
Mary Yosef, Shalom Aleichem.
He passed his bedtime, but he came out. He just kind of hurt himself. So he sees me on the computer, and of course, Mary Yosef, do you want to say hi to everybody?
Hi.
Hello.
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 You know what we're doing, Mary Yosef? We're learning Torah right now.
Isn't that beautiful? So
Please continue.
that's the message for today. That finding, right? Lo taneh barecha et shaket. Don't be a false witness. Be a true witness, right? Describe the truth. Describe the truth to ourselves. Describe the truth to others. Be someone that is Chofetz Chaim, that wants to live, that is. And I think we can find that within ourselves. We can find that as a way of living. If Midos are a way of living, our character, what sort of a person are we?
Thank you.
We are a Chofetz Chaim.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're.
You just wanted to say thanks. Sorry for.
Yeah,
I
thank
can't
you.
help it.
Okay, everyone.
Yeah.
Well, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
Thank you
you.
very much.
Hello.
you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Shalom.